is chaos. Its corrupting, changing taint despoils all before it. Only the strongest will endure.
Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer guide. Today we are looking at the Fire Wizards, or Fire Sorcerers as they're known in the Chaos Army. Both the Sorcerer and the Sorcerer Lord. We'll quickly go over their stats and then we'll go over their different spells. So we'll start off with the old Sorcerer. He does look pretty spectacular. I do like the little red hood. Very, very cool. So unlike wizards in most armies, these are very heavily armoured guys and can actually do a bit in combat as well. So they've got very similar stats. Very high armour, good leadership, and they do a decent amount of damage. 315 weapon strength is nothing to be sniffed at, but it is only one target. They don't do big swings and hit multiple combatants like you see some of the more sort of tankier, fightier heroes will do. The difference between the Lord is that he has basically just a slightly upgraded. He does a little bit more damage, but slightly higher attack rather. There's not a great deal, a couple more 100 hit points. The main difference is basically the spells. So let's go through the spells. So like all individual characters, he's got 15% missile resistance. He's got Encourage, which is a boost to leadership. Hide in the Forest. His first fire spell is called Kindle Flame, which is a constant, like a passive, and around himself, and it affects enemies in range. And it's map wide, and it's plus 12 flame weakness. Because in your army, you've got a couple of different choices for flame damage. As well as the wizard spells, you've also got the Hell Cannon, which does some fire damage, I believe, and stuff like that. So that's really quite useful if you sort of tag it on top of the other stuff. Next up, he's got the classic Sorcerer, Fire Sorcerer spell, and that's a Fireball. It fires a big fireball. You know what a fireball is. 300 meter range. It's one of the longest range spells in the game that's not sort of map wide, and does big damage against large units. Next up, he's got Flame Storm, which targets the ground within 150 meters, and it's a vortex spell, meaning it pops up, it does some damage, and then it sort of moves randomly for about, I think it's like 27 seconds, for quite a long time. Don't cast it too near your own troops because it can come back. Friendly fire is on and it will hurt you. Next up we've got Cascading Fire Cloak, which is a spell that lasts for all allies. This is interesting actually. This is quite a nice one. So it targets an ally unit and then all ally units within 30 meters of that one. So it's mainly useful for your main battle line. Got a range of 200 meters, but it gives your troops plus defense and plus 36% armor piercing damage, which is really useful. If your unit is going up against a toughly armored guy, boost them with a Cascading Fire Cloak and they'll be sorted. Flaming Sword of Rudin, which is an augment, is an instant one. Unusually, you can target the ground or an ally unit within 200 meters, and then all units within 30 meters are effective, and it basically does more. They do more damage with missiles and they're more damage with their weapons. So I'm very happy with that. Nice cheeky little buff. There's not many buffs that actually buff missile damage as well, so that's quite nice. Next up we got Piercing Bolts of Burning. That sounds painful. It's a bombardment. You target not on a unit but on any bit of ground within 200 meters, and it's basically like a fiery burning death meteor shower type thing, and it's really good against other big units. Does fire damage, so we could boost it with that debuff we saw earlier. Very nice spell indeed. Weaken the enemy before they even get to you. Next up we got the Burning Head, which is another vortex. Great names. A vortex spell, 150 meter range. It's strong against multiple units. Again, most of these vortex spells are, but it's really sort of quite random as to the movement, so you don't want to cast too near your own troops, and you also don't want to sort of try and cast it on a sort of near a single unit, because it's likely just to go off and wander off. Cast it against their massive battle line where you can hit multiple units, and even if it wanders off it can still hit another unit. The difference with this one is they get burnt, which means they get -8 leadership, which is really, really nice. Especially just before combat, and then you hit them with the charge. Oh, it's going to be glorious. Next up we've got Arcane Conduit. This is their cast on self. And this is the difference between the two wizards. So the normal sorcerer gets this, which is basically increases the power reserves and the recharge rate, meaning he can cast more spells. Lovely. The only difference with spells with the Sorcerer Lord is that instead of that, he gets Stand or Die, which is a much more sort of team-focused spell that's cast on himself, lasts for 11 seconds, all ally units within 40 meters, and will do more have better defense. They have a decent jump in leadership, plus 16 leadership is pretty good, and they do have a much better attack. So that's a fantastic spell just to use as the two big sort of battle lines are about to clash. Lovely jubbly. I think they both have their uses in combat. The difference between these two guys and, say, the Empire Wizards is that these can actually fight in combat as well. You don't want to send them off on their own getting stuck in or trying to challenge an enemy hero or anything like that. They're not that good, but they can help out in battle. So you could have your Sorcerer Lord casting those spells as the two big enemy lines meet, and then once they've met, just send him in maybe. Especially when you're low on power, because you can't cast too many spells or the timers are going, so you can't cast anything. You might as well get him stuck in, help break a unit, that'll do. Because they are very tanky and they do have a lot of armour, so they can definitely hold their own. So we'll just cast a couple of spells at these random units. Where are they? Are they going to be hiding behind the hill? They were last time. Come on, sorcerers. Lovely day at the Chaos Wasteland. You can see why they're so angry. Look where they live. It's pretty bleak, isn't it? I think the enemy usually sets up around here somewhere. Come on, boys. Walkies. There you go. Alright, let's pause it. So, well, you've got to go straight for the fireball, haven't you, really? So this casts on an enemy unit. You can't cast it on the ground. So you sort of... There, we'll do that one. And what do you want to do? Bit of a flame storm? Yeah. So this one casts on the ground. It's only got a short range though, so I'm actually quite a bit out of range here. So 200 meters, that's going to be close. We'll cast it there in the hope that they walk into it. So we'll see there's the fireball. Yippee! Oh, it's going low, it's going low. Stay up, stay up, stay up. Oh, and there's the other one as well. Oh, it's beautiful. So much fiery goodness. And I've used up all my power reserves. As you can see, that the spells are powerful, but they I'm really sorry. Oh, that was an accident. So I'm sorry, Bretonians. As you can see, it's moving randomly now. So this really good disruption spell. We won't send these two poor guys into combat. Like I said, they're decent in combat, but they will get broken. Where's he wandering off to? Where are you wandering off to? And there you go, guys. That is the Chaos. As you can see, that Fame Pie is still lasting for ages. That is the Chaos Fire Sorcerers and Sorcerer Lord. Look at him go. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's not looking pretty. Yeah, nice. Get stuck in. They're not the best fightiest champions, so they will get bogged down in combat and eventually will break just because of numbers. He's being chased. He's like coming to help his mate, and he's like, oh shit, there's some behind you. Is he going to go for a super duper choppy chop chop? No, not really. Just going to sort of wade in the back. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be doing the other types of magic that the sorcerers have, which is death and metal, in the other videos, so go check them out. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new. Basically, wizards in Total War are like artillery pieces. That's how to see them, and sometimes they can fight a bit as well. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Bye bye.